Hi friends, today I share with you a story. I hope you enjoy it. Antonia sat in her armchair, staring out the window, deep in thought. She had an important choice to make. But could she really choose anything for herself? Her children had already made all the decisions. They told her she had to do what they wanted. Her children were having money problems, and Antonia felt it was her duty as a mother to help. She sighed deeply. I need to start packing, she thought. I can only take the most important things. Everything else will stay here and be thrown away when strangers buy the house. Vera and Alex had told her clearly, if you're going to live with us, just bring your clothes and a photo album. But what about my knitting? And all my other things? I have so much I want to keep. How can I leave it all behind? Antonia asked. Vera shook her head.
No, Mom.
Only what's really needed.
2 suitcases at most.
There's no space for all that old stuff. Antonia realized she had to give up all the things that mattered to her. To her children, it was just junk. But to her, it was memories. It made her very sad. Vera and Alex gave her 1 week to pack. After that, they would sell the house. They told her they wouldn't do this if they weren't short on money. But they really needed to sell it, so they convinced her to agree. They promised they wouldn't leave her alone. She would live with one of them. They hadn't decided who yet, but they said she wouldn't end up homeless. Antonia didn't care which child she lived with, as long as they didn't leave her behind. All week, Antonia walked through her house, choosing what to take. Every item brought back a memory, and it was hard to let go. She packed 2 suitcases with clothes, and a third one with new bed linens and her favorite porcelain figurines. Well, the linens weren't really new, they had just been sitting and used for years. She thought her children might use them, and the figurines were beautiful. She hoped they wouldn't throw them away. A week later, Vera and Alex came to get her. Vera frowned when she saw 3 suitcases. I told you to pack light, she said. I couldn't bring less. The 3rd suitcase is for you, some bed linen and figurines, Antonia replied. Vera started to argue but stopped. Fine, we'll take 3. Antonia used to live in a quiet part of the city, where tall buildings were starting to appear. Her house had a big yard. The man who bought it was rich. He tore down her small house and built a large 2-story home. Nothing was left of Antonia's old life. Now, Antonia lived with Vera in a fancy apartment. Vera gave her a room that had been her husband's office. He wasn't happy, but Vera made him agree. They bought a simple bed and a small dresser. The room didn't feel warm or welcoming. Antonia wasn't allowed to hang up her own photos. She asked Vera for a small table. Vera didn't like the idea, but finally bought her one. What do you need a table for? Vera grumbled. You're not going to write. You can't even see well. Antonia gave Vera the suitcase with the linens and figurines. Vera took it, but didn't say anything. Later, Antonia didn't see the linens or the figurines anywhere. She asked about them, but Vera got upset. Mom, stop asking me about that. The suitcase is in the closet. I told you I don't need that old stuff. You should just throw it away, or give it to Alex. As time passed, Vera and her husband started having problems. He was annoyed that Antonia was always around. Vera grew more and more frustrated too. She started getting angry with her mother, who she felt was always in the way. Antonia's daughter, Vera, called her brother. She's your mother too, she said. It's your turn to take care of her. Let her live with you now. Alex didn't like the idea, but he agreed. So, Antonia moved in with him. No one asked her what she wanted, her children just decided for her. Alex's wife was very unkind. She didn't want Antonia in the house. She didn't let her in the kitchen and wouldn't let her watch TV in the living room. Antonia stayed alone in her room most of the time. She didn't even have a TV, though she asked Alex to get one. Mom, that's ridiculous, Alex said. I don't have money for a TV. I'll bring you a radio instead. And please, try not to upset my wife. She's always complaining about you. That same day, Alex called Vera. Vera, we have a problem. My wife is really angry. She can't stand Mom being here. We need to think about sending her to a nursing home. Vera was shocked. Are you serious?
Who's going to pay for that? Not me.
I have my own expenses. I'm not spending money on a nursing home. Then take her back. I've had enough. She just walks around quietly like a ghost and looks at us like we've done something wrong. It's driving me crazy, Alex said.
No way.
She lived with me long enough. It's your turn now, for at least a month. We can't just throw her out on the street. She is our mother, Vera replied. If I knew it would be this hard, I never would have agreed to sell the house, Alex said with regret. But you're the one who insisted we needed the money. I warned you, Mom is strong. She could live for many more years. Now we're stuck, Vera snapped. Well, you didn't warn me well enough, Alex muttered. The siblings argued, but didn't solve anything. For now, Antonia stayed at Alex's house. Antonia slowly began to realize the truth. Her children didn't need her. No one truly loved her. She had made a terrible mistake by letting them sell her house. Now she had nothing left, no home, and no one who cared about her. She decided to visit her old neighbor near her former home. Alex and his wife weren't at home, so Antonia took her bag and went to the bus stop alone. She didn't know which bus to take, but she thought she could ask people. She had left her phone behind. No one was going to call her anyway, and no one would be looking. Some kind people told her which bus to take, and she made it safely. When she arrived, she saw that her old, simple house had been replaced by a big, fancy mansion with a tall fence. Her heart sank. There was nothing left of the place where she had once lived. Tears filled her eyes. What have I done, she thought. How could I let my children talk me into giving up everything? Her head started to spin, and she leaned against the fence to steady herself. Just then, she heard an angry voice. Hey, move away from the fence. This isn't a place to rest. Get lost, you drunk, or I'll call the police. Antonia looked up and saw a tall young man glaring at her. The old woman didn't respond to the young man. She let go of the fence and stepped back. But then she tripped on a stone and fell to the ground. She cried out in pain and suddenly heard a familiar voice. Antonia, is that you? What happened? Why are you out here like this? It was her old neighbor, Linda. She ran over and helped Antonia up. Thankfully, nothing was broken, but Antonia had hurt her ankle and couldn't walk easily. Come with me. I'll help you, Linda said kindly, guiding her to her house. Antonia limped along, her eyes full of tears. When they got to Linda's house, Linda gave her some tea and a piece of cake. After a while, Antonia calmed down and was able to speak. Linda didn't ask questions. She just waited for Antonia to speak on her own. Antonia told her everything. How her children had made her sell her house, how they didn't want her anymore, and how they passed her back and forth like a burden. No one showed her kindness or love. She said her life felt like a never-ending punishment. Linda listened, heartbroken. Though she was only 5 years younger, Antonia looked much older, worn out and tired from being mistreated. It was clear no one had truly cared for her. Linda made a decision. Listen, she said gently. You won't be alone anymore. My son is moving to a village soon. He built a nice house there, and he's taking me with him. He has another small house nearby. It's old but cozy. I want you to come with us. I'm sure my son and his wife, Mary, will welcome you. They have 4 kids. You and I can help take care of them, and maybe even grow some flowers or vegetables. You'll feel needed again. Linda looked into Antonia's eyes. What do you think? I truly believe this is the right thing. You can tell your kids or not. I doubt they'll care. Antonia listened quietly. Linda's voice was full of care and confidence. It gave her hope. But when Linda mentioned her children, Antonia shook her head. No, she said. I don't want to tell them anything. Let them think I'm gone. That's probably what they want anyway. They hurt me too much. Tears welled up again, and Linda gently patted her on the shoulder. All right, she said softly. No more crying. I'll call my son now. He's a good man. We'll figure it out. 3 months later, Antonia was living peacefully in the village with Linda. They stayed in a small, cozy cottage. Linda's son, Victor, had welcomed them both with kindness after hearing Antonia's story. Antonia and Linda helped around the house and garden and looked after the children. They planted flowers and enjoyed simple, peaceful days. Antonia smiled often now. She felt calm and useful again. Mary, Victor's wife, was always kind. She never raised her voice or treated them badly. She invited them to dinner often and shared tasty food. She was truly a wonderful person. Antonia felt thankful for the new life she had found. Though sometimes she thought about her children, she knew they were probably happier thinking she was gone. Linda occasionally suggested telling them that Antonia was alive and well, but Antonia always refused. She didn't want anything to do with them anymore. One day, without telling Antonia, Linda found Vera's address and went to see her. When Vera heard her mother was alive, she didn't show happiness. She got angry.
What?
She ran off without telling anyone? And now she's living comfortably with strangers? That's her idea of being a mother? We wasted days looking for her. Linda was shocked and furious. Days? Only a few days? That's all your mother was worth to you? You're not just ungrateful. You're heartless. I regret coming here. You're not human. Linda left, feeling disgusted. She never told Antonia about the visit. She knew the truth. Antonia's children didn't care. It was better for Antonia to stay in the village with people who loved and respected her than to know how cruel her daughter really was.